Can you trust the owners of AI to act in your best interest? Can you trust them with your data? Those are the questions I have begun to explore in this Say No to AI series of postings. And as I continue my research into these issues, there's an expert I've come across who clearly reinforces my concerns. His name is Gary Marcus. He's a cognitive scientist, psychologist, author, and a professor emeritus of New York University. Since the 90s, he has pursued in-depth research in the field of AI and has helped to found AI-related companies. He knows what he's talking about. And about a month ago, he appeared on the Big Technology podcast hosted by Alex Kantrowitz. I will put a link to the complete video in the notes below, but here's a clip where Gary hints at the serious privacy issues attached to AI use. Because as the models keep coming up short of the hype, and as they fail to meet the staff replacement needs of corporate customers who are supposed to make AI profitable, the investors have to monetize something else in order to recover some of their billions.
On the other hand, I think what we've learned in the last 3 years is that the closed companies are not the ethical actors that they once were. So, Google famously said, "Don't do evil," and they took that out of their platform. Microsoft was all about AI ethics, and then, when Sydney came out, they're like, "We're not taking this away. We're going to stick with it." And like OpenAI said that we're, nonprofit for public benefit. Now they're desperately trying to become a for-profit that is really not particularly interested in public benefit. It's interested in money, and they may become a surveillance company, which I don't think is
because what you're talking about with the advertising side.
So basically, they have a lot of private data because they have a lot of users and people type in all kinds of stuff, and they may have no choice but to monetize that. And they've been showing signs of it. They hired Nakasone, who used to be at the NSA. They bought a share in a webcam company, and they recently announced they're trying to build a social media company. They want, they look like they're on a path to sell your data, your very private data, to whoever they care.
It's information to Facebook, but I am giving OpenAI a lot of information.
I mean, there's a lot of people that treat it as a therapist.
Well, that's the number one use is therapist companion. I don't use it as a therapist, but I'm like putting a lot of my work in.
I have to admit, I'm shaken by the knowledge that many people now rely on AI chatbots to serve as their talk therapists. From what I understand, these bots have scoured the internet for examples of therapeutic conversation, and they are capable of mimicking the phrases used by counselors in therapy sessions, so it can certainly feel like a therapist is listening. However, as I keep repeating, there's no guarantee these companies will keep secret the things you divulge to their conversation tool. Have you begun to get the picture that current large language model companies are not benign actors? These systems aren't independent of their owners. The bots have no moral compass or sense of responsibility towards any greater good. And most importantly, there's no guarantee of privacy. And there's no guarantee that information fed into an AI won't get co-opted for someone else's benefit or used for your harm. Gary Marcus, for one, does not use these systems for anything substantial in his life. He will pose challenges to LLM updates in order to test how systems have or have not improved from one version to another, but he does not trust the AI models with confidential information of any kind, and this reinforces my own decision to stay clear of these black boxes and their owners, at least until there's a proper legal framework in place to protect my privacy and my rights. And to you, dear viewer, I would recommend the same, because you cannot know what will happen to your inputs after you upload them to an AI system. And without a lot of clear direction at the governmental level, and so far the US government has shown no interest in regulating AI, you and your information and whatever ideas you glean from an LLM are not necessarily yours to keep. Never did the phrase caveat emptor, the classic warning of buyer beware, never did it mean more than it does with AI. When you choose to turn information over to a chatbot, especially when you're looking to build a unique business or develop creative content, you literally do not know what you bargained for. In the short term, you might manage to glean a bit of a brainstorm from a prompt, but in the long run, if you're successful, who actually owns what? And in the current environment, I will tend to bet that the billionaire AI investors will find a way to come out on top. And so what are your thoughts? Please leave a comment if you would like, and please share this video with others, as well as take the time to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. And until the next time, please remember that being your own human self is rarely a bad idea.